Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to start our chapter 3.2 Global Enterprises, Multinational Companies, Joint Ventures, and Private-Public Partnership. In this chapter, you come to know that what are multinational companies, what is their role in an economy, what are the joint ventures, what are PPP, means public-private partnership. By learning this chapter, you come to know all these outcomes. Let's start with the meaning and evaluation of MNCs, means the global enterprises. What are global enterprises? Before doing it, the point of view should be clear to you. Multinational companies means the companies which occupied their business in more than one nation, multinations. Then it is known as multinational companies. Multinational company is, as is evident from their name, are those companies which are having their business in more than one country. In our daily life, we hear about many such companies and also use their product in daily life. They include Ranbaxy, Wipro, Tata Motors, Asian Paints, Moser, Bayer, Cadbury, Coca-Cola, Ponds, Sony, Fiat, Samsung, etc. They are those multinational companies whose products are used in all the household. So these are the various prominent names of the multinational companies. Let's see the meaning of the multinational company in Toolkit 8. It refers to those companies with operations in which more than one country. It refers to the companies with operations in more than one country. A multinational company is that company which is registered in one particular country but whose products are produced and sold in various other countries. They are also called the global corporations. One of the definition you have to do here, the definition by ILO report and IBM World Trade Corporation president is given to you. You have to learn one of the definition that you feel comfortable and easy to learn. Now the features. Let's come to the features part. Features of MNCs are centralized management. A multinational company has its headquarters in the home country. It expands its business in other countries by opening the branches and subsidiary companies in other countries. The management of business being carried out in other countries is in hands of the head office. All the branches and subsidiaries have to work according to the policies laid down by the head office. So the very first feature of MNC is the centralized management. The management is there and so many subsidiaries, so many branches are there, and it is holded by one center headquarter in the home country. Worldwide spread of business. The business of multinational companies spread in many countries. The company fully exploits the local condition prevailing in the host country. This includes the availability of the cheap labor and use of raw material. So it is not spread on a local base. It is spread so widely, worldwide we can say, in case of multinational companies. Better quality product. A multinational company has to compete on the world level. It has therefore to pay special attention to the quality of its products. So the products should be so fine quality that they should occupy a good place in the international market. Otherwise, they cannot beat the competition at the international level or the national level. Next is the large size. The multinational company has huge assets. So the value of those assets, it is a given IBM is approximately $8 billion. Similarly, the another ITTs has 800 branches in 70 countries. So multinational companies always has a large size. Access to the international market. A multinational company easily establish its identity in the international market because many products, good quality, research on the large scale, good marketing facilities, etc. these access to the international level. Special attention to advertisement. A multinational company pays special attention to the advertisement. That is a secret of its success, because without advertisement, the MNC's level business cannot be done. So these are the various features of MNCs. Now let's come to the evaluation part. While doing the evaluation, just come to know that what are the advantages and what are the limitation or disadvantage, we can say, of MNCs. With the establishment of multinational company, the host country have started getting cheap and good quality product. But on the other hand, the existence of the local business has been endangered. The effect of the multinational company on the economy of the host country, whether good or bad, depend on the political, social, and economic condition of the host country. It is therefore important to study the advantages and disadvantages to the host country for a proper evaluation of multinational companies. So let's go for the advantages first. Increase in foreign investment. All the countries desire to invest foreign capital in their country. The chief objective is to get foreign exchange, which is required for the import of goods. With the setting up of multinational companies, foreign capital's inflow become automatic. Increase in employment. The setting up of multinational companies provide good opportunities of employment to the local population. Since these companies carries business on the large scale, a large number of people are employed on them. So employment is also, it is also a good source of employment as well. Number 3, proper use of resources. With the setting up of multinational companies, the human and physical resources lying idle are put to a proper use. These companies can make a good use of idle resources because of their technical knowledge. This results in the increase in the national income. Number 4, technical development. The setting up of multinational company make it possible to carry the advantages of technical development made in one country to the other countries. Those countries also start developing technically, because technical development is by default there. When you improve and do the high level of business where you just do the business more than one country, more than one nation, no doubt you have to occupy a good level of technology there. If you are lagging behind in technology, you cannot find any space in the international market. So it is very much compulsory that the technical development should be there. So in a way, the multinational companies get developed technically because they have to develop innovative products in the market always. Next is end of local monopoly. There can be some products which are manufactured only by a few companies. In such situation, these companies come to acquire a monopoly in the market of those special products. Taking advantage of this monopoly, they start selling those products to consumer at high prices. They thus exploit the consumer. The coming up of multinational company leads to the competition, no doubt. The result of the local companies both improve their products and reduce prices. If they fail to listen to the call of the hour, means the need of the hour, means the need of the time that existing at that time, and act decisively against the competition in the market, they are likely to be knocked out to the market. So if they will not listen, what is the need of the hour, what is the need of the call, and they change yourself, they will not exist in the market. Next is managerial development. The multinational companies appoint managers who have knowledge of the latest management techniques. The local people desires of getting a job in these companies do a lot of research in this field of management. This leads to the development of professional management culture. Increase in export. Encouraged by the success of multinational companies, many local entrepreneurs established large companies. It increased the export of the companies as well. So these are the various points that you find as advantages of MNC. Let's talk about the disadvantages. Like a coin, it has two sides. Then no doubt there is a side in which you see so many advantages of MNC, but there is another dark side in which you can see the disadvantages of MNCs as well. Number one, danger of domestic industry. The domestic industry is incapable of facing the challenge of the multinational company because they possess huge finance resources. Some big companies have simply to wind up their business. Repatriation of profits. These companies earn huge profit. They carry these profits to their country. This adversely affects on the foreign exchange reserve of the host country. It means a large amount of foreign exchange goes out of the country. So whenever the repartition of the profit is to be done, when the profit is divided among various nations, it also affects the foreign exchange reserve of the host country. The next is the intervention in local politics. The multinational company establish their supremacy in the underdeveloped countries simply because they immensely favorable position. First of all, these companies help the government in a number of ways and gradually start interfering in the process of government decision making. Such a situation is never desirable for any country. So intervention of the local politics is also one of the disadvantages of the MNCs. Exploitation of the natural resources. The multinational company use the natural resources of the host country very carelessly. This improper use of the valuable natural resources of the country is harmful for the host country. No benefit to the poor people. These companies are generally set up in the underdeveloped or developing country. The people of these countries are mostly poor, but these companies produce only those things which are used by the rich. Yes, no doubt, always MNCs support the innovation, and they also develop such kind of innovative product which are usually used by the richer section of the society. So in this way, whatever the goods they are producing, like cosmetics, soft drink, chocolates, no doubt it affect the lifestyle of the rich people, not the poor section of the society. Whether the need of the are to increase the level of the poor section of the society in order to provide benefit to the economy. So there is no benefit for the poor people as there is increase in the multinational business. So what we can conclude? We can conclude the following other suggestions can be, it can be all the profits earned by them should not be allowed to be taken back. In other words, the part of the profits earned by these companies should be invested in the host country. Number two, they should not be allowed to interfere in the local politics. They must use the natural resources in proper way, and the goods consumed by the poor should also be produced by them. By doing all this, we can say that in addition to it, the indigenous industries should be so strengthened as it able to compete successfully with the multinational companies. So in this way, we can say the multinational companies can prove them better if they remove these limitations or the advantages. There are some Indian and foreign MNCs are given to us. As Indian MNCs are Ranbaxy, Dr. Reddy, Aurobindo Pharma, Infosys, Wipro, iFlex, Tata Motors, Bharat Forge, Sundaram Fastener, Sterlite, Hindalco, SL Propack, Asian Paints, Mozo Beer, ONGC. These are the various Indian MNCs. Now, if I talk about the foreign MNCs, Indian MNCs means these are the companies of India which have their business in so many other nations. But here, the parental countries are different. Like these are the foreign MNCs. Their parental countries are like the Brook Bond is from UK, Cadbury from UK, IEC UK, Lipton UK, Hindustan Unilever Limited from UK, Coca-Cola from USA, Ford Motor, General Electric, General Motors, Gillette, Pepsi, Ponds, Procter and Gamble, Union Carbide. These are from USA. And then Toyota Motors, Sony Suzuki from Japan, Daimler Benz from Germany, Fiat from Italy, and Samsung from South Korea. So these are the various foreign MNCs. So up to here, we just finished by the topic that what are MNCs, what are their features. We did the meaning first of all in the toolkit. Let's recall. First of all, we have done the meaning of the multinational company. Definition we have done. Features we have done. After doing the feature, we have done the evaluation by doing the advantages as well as disadvantages of MNCs. And then we have learned some examples of Indian MNCs as well as foreign MNCs. Now let's talk about the joint venture. Joint venture is also one of the important concepts you find ever in the related to the business studies. When two or more enterprises agree to join together for a common objective and a mutual gain, and it gives rise to a joint venture. Let's read in the toolkit what is given over here. It refers to that partnership in which companies share investment, risk management, and profits in the development, production, or selling the product. But it's given over here, it refers to that partnership in which companies share investment, risk management, and profits in the development, production, or selling of products. When two business enterprises agree to join together for a common objective and the mutual gain, and it gives rise to a joint venture. These two business enterprises may be private, government owned, or a foreign company. In international business, joint venture means to establish those type of enterprises in which both domestic entrepreneur and foreign entrepreneur are partners in ownership and management. In this business is done in the collaboration with the company of important nation. This method of business is adopted in the following situation. When the company wants to do the business on the international level but lacks the capital and human resource, in that case, joint venture should be applicable. It is a good method. When a company anticipates that doing business with a local partner will improve profitable, and when the company is willing to avail the benefit of the existing distribution system of the local partner of importing countries, then also the joint venture is so much beneficial. So what are the benefits of the joint ventures? Now we can see the following are the different benefits we can say the joint ventures have. Number one, easy entry in the overseas market. Those companies who just want to join the overseas market, it is very easy and one of the greatest opportunity they find to establish their place in the foreign market. So easy entry in the overseas market is there. Those companies which lack of capital and human resources and want to enter the foreign market, they can do it by a way of joint venture. The foreign partner in joint venture provides capital as well as human resources and make it possible. Number two, the benefit is risk is minimized. The risk generated by the lack of knowledge about the working of foreign markets can be minimized through a joint venture. The local partner has a full awareness of the market. In this way, the risk generated by the policies of the government can also be minimized well in time. Technological benefits. Yes, no doubt, whenever you have the joint venture, you will get the benefit of the technology as well. By engaging the partnership with the foreign company, Indian company can enjoy the benefit of the latest and advanced technology. Competitive strength. When two companies get together to do a business, certainly they have the strength to face the competition that will increase. Reduce in cost. When two companies join hands to carry on business, it makes it possible to do it on a large scale. They get the benefit of the economy of large scale production. As a result, the cost of production will become less. So reduction in cost will be there. This is all about the benefits of the joint venture. Number one, it is very easy to enter in the overseas market. This is minimized. they will get the technological benefits, competitive strength will be increased, and reduction in cost will be there. The next is our PPP, means public-private partnership. Let's read the toolkit number 10, then it will be more clear to us. It refers to the involvement of private sector in the government projects aimed at public benefit in the form of management expertise and monetary contribution. I'm repeating, it refers to the involvement of the private sector in the government projects and aimed at public benefits in the form of management expertise and monetary contributions. Public-private partnership refers to the involvement of the private sector in the government projects aimed at the public benefit in the form of management expertise and monetary contribution. PPP is a long-term partnership between the public and the private sector, specifically targeted towards financing, designing, implementing, and providing infrastructural facilities that were traditionally provided by the public sector. Since the 1990s, there has been a rapid PPPs across the world. Government in developing as well as developed countries using PPP arrangement for improved delivery of basic service. Government are building infrastructure through PPPs in the following area. In which areas PPPs are developed: transport for the road, railways, toll bridge, education, school, colleges and universities, healthcare means hospitals, waste management, collect and waste to energy plants, water collection, treatment and distribution. Let's see what are the features of PPP. PPP, private-public partnership. The following are the main feature of the public-private partnership that are, they are related to the high priority government plant projects. PPP's main objective is to contribute the skills, expertise, and experience both the public and private sector to deliver the higher quality services. PPPs allow government to overcome their budgetary and borrowing constraints. PPPs are used in the government projects aimed at the public benefit. PPP project leads to faster implementation and reduced life cycle. PPPs divide the risk between public and private sector. The government remains accountable for the quality and cost of services, and the government remains actively involved through the life of the projects. So in this way, these are the various features of PPP, that is public-private partnership. So what we did in today this chapter, first of all, we did the meaning of the MNCs, that what the MNCs are. These are the multinational companies, their definition, features, merits, demerits we have done. After doing the evaluation, we have done some examples of Indian as well as foreign MNCs. After doing the examples, we have done meaning of joint venture and its benefit. Please don't forget to mark from 5 marks point of view, the MNCs topic is very important, and from 3 marks point of view, the joint venture topic is very much important. And from 3 or 1 mark point of view, this PPP. Out of these 3 topics, definitely you find something in your board exam. So this is one of the most important chapter you ever find in your examination. So do it so carefully, read thoroughly. If you find any difficulty, feel free to ask any query anytime. So I request, sir,